gentlemen, welcome to Special Report. This is your host, Dr. Yavuz Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. I'm really thrilled and excited to give an opportunity about meeting one of the amazing colleagues and professors around the world. And today, I have Professor Asif Ahmed, and I'm telling you, are you ready to save millions of women's lives and children's lives? This is an opportunity to hear a true hero, Professor Asif Ahmed, here with us today, joining us from United Kingdom. Welcome, Professor Asif Ahmed. How are you today?
Dr. Yavuz, it's a pleasure to be with you. It's a pleasure to be with you, Dr. Yavuz, and to be with you and share with your audience some of our discoveries and any way we can help alleviate the pain points of millions of women and children around the world.
Thank you, Professor Asif Ahmed. I will go ahead and, ladies and gentlemen, provide some short videos about who Professor Asif Ahmed is and what Mirzaim Therapeutics is doing. Let's watch this video, and we'll be right back with our amazing colleague joining us from London. Shall we?
Scientists at Mirzaim have proven beyond doubt that a hydrogen sulfide-releasing aspirin prevents preeclampsia in 2 separate studies published in the prestigious journal Redox Biology. The company has been granted a string of global patents. This life-threatening disorder affects 1 in 12 of the 130 million annual pregnancies worldwide and causes the death of a mother or her unborn child every minute. Even after pregnancy, there are long-term adverse health consequences for mother and baby. The global cost of preeclampsia is over $100 billion, and there is no cure. Mirzaim Therapeutics is an innovative biopharmaceutical startup focused on the development of new tailored drugs and AI-assisted diagnostic tests to target the right patient populations. Imagine a world free of preeclampsia. This is based on their discovery that preeclampsia is caused due to defect in protective enzymes and an increase in a culprit protein called soluble FLT1 in the mother's circulation. These scientists created genetic-driven and surgically induced models of preeclampsia. These models had low levels of protective enzymes and high levels of soluble FLT1. The models caused high blood pressure, kidney injury, and undersized babies. Oral administration of the hydrogen sulfide-releasing aspirin, dubbed MZE-786, prevented preeclampsia in these models. MZE-786 is indeed effective in preventing preeclampsia and reducing soluble FLT1. From a business perspective, Mirzaim has the potential to generate substantial revenues at impressive rates of growth. The company is partnering with world-leading universities. We now need help to transform this pioneering science and help Mirzaim bring these discoveries to the global population and save millions of lives. Will you join our fight to make preeclampsia history?
Professor of vascular biology, and my research focuses on an area called preeclampsia. This is a pregnancy complication which affects women around the world. 70,000 women die each year, and there is no treatment for it. To be solved. Need a method of detecting it, preventative treatment that is for curing it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As I told you, Professor Asif Ahmed and his team is doing an amazing job, and I'm really thrilled and excited to host the CEO of Mirzaim Therapeutics. And Professor Asif Ahmed is actually a professor in vascular biology as well as a professor in translational medicine, and he has also a special distinguished professor title from King Abdulaziz University, and really changing lives. I had the opportunity to meet him at Clubhouse, and from there we really connected, and I'm really impressed with the amazing work and the sincere way of his approach to anyone around the world. Again, welcome back, Professor Asif Ahmed, to Special Report.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. I will start actually with, I know you very well, but for our viewers, who Professor Dr. Asif Ahmed is and what motivates you in your life and as you are becoming one of the success leaders and actually a really pinpoint a role model for many of our viewers, our 900 million viewers across 42 countries in Africa. Please tell us who Professor Asif Ahmed is and what motivates you.
Well, I'm Professor Asif Ahmed. I'm the founder and chairman of Mirzyme Therapeutics. I'm also the senior advisor to the president and vice chancellor of University of Southampton, which is one of the UK's leading university and a global top 100 university. What you asked me, what motivates me? Well, it just depends on how we look at it. If I go back to what motivated me at the very beginning, when I was about 14, my father, who's a professor, and his colleagues were having a meet and greet kind of discussion. And I tried to butt in and give my views. And one of his friends said to me, "Shut up. We want to hear from the experts, not from you." And I was taken back. Then my father encouraged me to speak because that's the way he brought us up. But afterwards, he told me, you have to go on to be somebody, an expert, if you want to achieve something for people to listen to what you have to say. And so that was the first, if you like, motivation to go on to do things. The second is more related to what we're doing now. Started when I had been already a professor for 8 years. This was 2006. I was walking in the hills of Malvern Hills near my home with my daughter, who was 10 years old then. And she said to me, "Daddy, you talk about VEGF, this protein we worked on, but what have you actually done?" And what she really meant is not what I've done for me, but what have I done for others. And that, within a few days, that changed the direction of my lab. I was at that time at the University of Birmingham. We had a world-leading research group. We had tons of funding, but we made it from patient-centric rather than being about us, about which paper do we publish. No, how do we benefit patients? And that led to the world's first randomized control trial in pregnancy to do with preeclampsia, and then that led to me being assistant principal at the University of Edinburgh. And again, there someone said, if you want to make an impact, you have to go to a small university. And that led me to create the medical school in Birmingham that I told you about before. And now my mission is very simple: to make preeclampsia history within this decade.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And, I know that 70,000 lives are perishing every year, and you are really an inspiration with the STEMP trial that you have done with your amazing team at Mirzyme Therapeutics. And I know not just preeclampsia, but many women's health solutions will come from you and your team, and know that here at NTR TV and my team, we are also ready to support your amazing initiatives that you're touching every day. And, I'm also looking from a general standpoint, before going deeper into Mirzyme Therapeutics and the women health, I want to first go with a general question about the current, entrepreneurial, you're a scientist as well, as a scientific as well as trade relationship and opportunities to improve between United Kingdom, Turkey and Africa, because with the Brexit, I see huge opportunities are coming, and there's huge, interaction that I'm seeing naturally as a bridge between Turkey, Africa, and United Kingdom. What are your thoughts? What are the improvement areas that we should work on together?
Right. One thing that we have learned from this pandemic, that if you want to do something well and do it fast, you need to do it together. Collaboration is key. And so that's the starting point, I would say. Second, as you pointed out, Brexit means that Britain is no longer just looking into Europe. It's looking way beyond Europe. And we have strong ties with Turkey and with Africa. And one thing which people don't always appreciate, Africa is not a homogeneous country. It's multi-ethnic, multi-linguistic, multinational, but two things it has in common. Well, one, it's to do with the fact that it has a very young population. The median age, I think, is about 19.7 across and second, that, as I say, pregnancy is going to be a big component, that is a commonality of all of us, right? We all have mothers, we all have sisters, we all have daughters. And so I think in terms of collaboration, for us, we're already collaborating. And third thing I would say about in terms of trade, Africa is the place to be. It is where humanity started, and it's where in the 21st century you need to be if you want to trade. And Turkey may be one of the gateways to Africa.
Absolutely. I think you said it very well, Professor Asif Ahmed. And we're looking forward to enhance that and really look into global peace and prosperity through scientific collaboration, research, and innovation. And I want to thank you again for leading this as someone which actually established also universities and received all these achievements. And your story was really touching to my heart as well, that your daughter and your loved ones can be an inspiration for you. So kudos to you and your team. And when I look at the current state in terms of, we are at, Preeclampsia Awareness Month in May. So I think this is the perfect timing to broadcast to 900 million people. And being yourself as the women's health leader, I want to really understand for our viewers what Mirzyme Therapeutics has as a vision in the future and what has achieved so far. Your vision is very important for us, so we can support and make it globally even a bigger success together.
Yeah. The vision, which is very to empower women to transform lives. Now, the first person to transform your life and to empower you was your mother. And a couple of days ago was Mother's Day.
Yes.
And I always feel sad the next day, because in the 24 hours that after Mother's Day, hundreds of women died, would-be mothers. So our vision is to empower women to transform lives so that they can help the next generation. And the second mission is to, and one of the major causes of pregnancy complication is preeclampsia, is to end preeclampsia. So mission is to make preeclampsia history within this decade. So that's the way I would put it. And then if you want to know more about how is Mirzyme going about doing it, it's like we're in the white space company. So we're in open territory, unmet medical need. And so what we're doing is to make sure that our science drives our discoveries and our therapeutics and diagnostic. So we're the only company on the planet in this sector which can predict, we've found what causes preeclampsia, predict who is likely to get preeclampsia, and how to prevent or treat preeclampsia. My team and I have done this, and we've globally patented it. So in terms of, and more importantly, the diagnostic, we've already developed, tested, and patented so that we can predict 98 out of 100 women in pregnancy who will get preeclampsia, will go on to get preeclampsia. So that effectively gives you de-risks your strategy going forward.
So your motto is one test, one pill saves two lives, which I love. It just sticks, to everyone as a message. It's very concise, to the point. So,
and can I say one more thing?
Please.
One test, one pill saves two lives. But today, 12 months after coronavirus, we also have one jab, one test, one jab, save 2 lives.
Exactly, exactly. So the vaccination is also supporting. That's what you have.
Using the vaccine type of approach, the delivery system to deliver a way to suppress the culprit protein.
Excellent. This is amazing. So you have actually not just a diagnostic, but also injectable and as well as a pill now we're talking about.
Yeah.
So
pipeline. We have a pipeline of products.
That's amazing. So, giving examples, public health is very important in Turkey. We do lots of screenings. So, do you recommend your test as a screening test, or is it a diagnostic test?
So, the question with screening, I would say, Yavuz, is Dr. Yavuz, is that our test predicts who will go on to get it.
Yes.
Right, with 98% certainty.
That's huge.
Now, if you got it, then you want a treatment for it. So we need to develop our treatments fast. And I believe that we will do fast track now because of what's happened in the last 15 months.
That's
and
amazing.
what's beauty of our test therapeutics is that the diagnostic becomes prognostic. So it can predict, it can monitor who is doing well. So you stratify different people into different categories, and then you can monitor them. And then we've also developing a app, a digital component, which will then allow people to be able to see who, through the app, who is likely to get, who's at risk, if you like. And then they can come to us and we can direct them into or their GPs to the treatment regime.
That's perfect. As you know, at Clubhouse, I'm running one of the fastest growing investors club, Investor Mastermind, and you are interacting with many investors around the world. As a message, and also through this channel, NTR TV, to our 900 million viewers, why should investors and partners choose you? And what are the ways they can engage with you? Are you open for scientific collaboration, funding, new market expansion? What are the areas we can support you?
All of the above. All of the above. Yeah. Well, I mean, the key to say why invest in Mirzaim? Well, you have to look at, I was running a dean of a medical school, pro vice chancellor. I've given all that up to do this because I know that I can solve this problem, right? And when I say I, the team. So we have secured 11 global patents. We have published, so we've already raised $130 million US, right, to get to where we are. And that has resulted in multiple high impact publications, over 27,000 citations, and multiple patents, as I've just said. So second thing is you have to look at who are the team and what's their background. We have done things that people had said it can't be done. And at the beginning, we were not given that kind of importance that the medical school is done behind us. When we take on something, we get it completed. It's called bringing ducks in a row. So bring everyone together, align people together. So we're partnering with one of the world's leading contract research organization. We have support from PwC. If you go on our website, you'll see it.
Yes.
We've also got links in China with the regulatory authorities. We're talking to Americans. So and we're the only company of this size that have a strategy, a twofold strategy. One is the regulatory approval for the diagnostic, which significantly de-risks the business plan because we've already done a prospective study on 400 patients. Right, so it's a clinical study. So I can do it today in my lab to test who's going to get preeclampsia, right? So that's done. And then the doing in parallel the therapeutics, which will get accelerated now, will mean that we can do things much faster. So those are the reasons why I think it's a de-risk. Early in revenue from the diagnostic means a significant de-risk, and Mirzaim has the potential to substantially generate huge amounts of revenue at impressive rates of growth, because it's look at Moderna. Moderna is today half market cap of
Yes.
AstraZeneca, and it was a startup. So yeah,
Even
that's why
BioNTech,
I'm pretty hopeful.
yeah, even BioNTech to,
Exactly.
say.
I mean, I know we're on a winner, and
That's amazing. So, in terms of how COVID impacted your business and your research and fundraising, that's also of interest for me. It's a different world. It's like in the United States, we had the catastrophe, Great Depression. Now the humanity is approached with another catastrophe that is happening maybe every 100 years. So, how are you actually managing this within Mirzaim Therapeutics, as well as do you see this, how we can tackle, COVID-19 moving forward?
well, it's a good question you posed there. But when I look at it, and whether it's you or me, how it's impacted on us, I also then reflect on how COVID, if you have COVID and you're a woman and you're pregnant, your risk of dying goes up 22-fold. Your risk of high blood pressure or hypertension in pregnancy goes up almost twofold. So when I compare that to what its impact on us, it's minimal, right? So we have to modify our strategy. The plan was to go fundraising at the beginning, phased, Series A, B kind of fundraising. We're getting ready to go. And that was when the COVID struck, which meant then we changed our strategy. So we published 2 very high impact papers in the last few months. If you go back and look at in high impact factor and 10 kind of thing. We've also got our patents granted, so we've focused on that sort of things. And we've been focusing on internally getting things in order. So it hasn't really affected us. I think, and the other thing, advantage has been this virtual connection that's been allowed to happen, which means that you can have a meeting with someone in Boston sitting from the comfort of Birmingham.
Exactly.
Without travel.
You are actually spot on, Professor Asif. So you are actually in United Kingdom. I'm here in Ankara, and through satellites in France and Ankara, we are taking you to 900 million viewers across 42 countries, from West to South Africa, including Madagascar. So it's a small village, and they will be able to send you messages, ask you questions. Our viewers from Africa may say, well, I want this solution also in my country, in Ghana, in Senegal, in South Africa. So this is the opportunity for our viewers to call and send WhatsApp messages, and we're here to actually connect you with Professor Asif Ahmed, and even through Clubhouse, right? We connected immediately.
Yeah,
so
technology has made it much easier, and the key thing is once you know that someone is authentic and they're on the right track, then also investors and others come to you. I call it the 5P of life, my 5Ps of life, yes. Which is first 2 was given to me by a Nobel laureate. So the first is, he said, in our profession, if you're not thinking of Stockholm, don't do it. And which he can only say it, he's a Nobel laureate. But you need an additional passion so that you can think outside the box. His was painting, mine's poetry. But I have added 3 more P's to it. You need purpose. When you have purpose, you have focus. When you have focus, the vision pulls you. And then you need persistence. Most people give up, and most people try to pull you down and put you down. They're not all like you, yours.
Thank you.
You're an exception person, and so I really appreciate you and I honor you. And so then, but even then, you will hit a brick wall, and you won't be able to go through it or around it. And that's when you need persuasion. When others come and join you, and it becomes not your mission. So let's make preeclampsia history is not my staying anymore. It's a movement. It's many people joined in who want to do this. Because if you're a father or a grandfather, you want to be able to say to your daughter, your grandchildren, that I made a contribution to this, which made it happen. I'm part of that history. So in 10-year window, we would be able to save 6 million lives across the world, multiple millions of disabilities from pregnancy complications, and billions of dollars that are spent in healthcare to manage the prematurity in the first 6 months of life. So so this is why I think it's a great thing what we are doing.
You're spot on. I'm so excited that we are able to give all these amazing messages to our viewers, Professor Asif Ahmed. I want to also ask you about this television channel. We are the only TV channel, satellite TV, broadcasting from France through Eutelsat and from Ankara through Turksat to 42 countries in Africa, and really trying to bring the goodness and the peace and science, innovation to our viewers. And you are a role model, and people like yourself, we're trying to actually connect also amazing success stories from Africa to the rest of the world. So we're trying to be a bridge as much as we can. What do you think about this work, dear Asif?
Well, I think this is a great medium, first of all, right? You are taking knowledge and information to the world, to parts that I cannot reach. So that's the first thing to say. Second, sitting where I am, I only get to see yours on YouTube, right?
Yes.
But it should be on Sky. It should be, the more it's connected to the world, the better it will be, because information is power.
Yes.
And once you have that information, then you can make informed judgment. If your viewers never met me, even on TV, then they wouldn't know who I am. And so now you can contact me, you can DM me through at Prof. Asif Ahmed on Twitter, or you can go to our website at Mirzaim, and you can do info@mirzaim.com, and I'll get to hear from you. So those are the things that makes a big difference. So your television, by the way, I've watched a few of your programs, and they're fascinating.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Well, I want to get your final words. I'm fascinated with your work. I hope to host you one day in Turkey. I hope to visit you in Birmingham as well. And maybe we'll do even joint fundraising for your cause. I believe it's extremely important. So I want to get your final messages for our viewers before closing this show, dear Professor Asif Ahmed. Let's get your final messages for our brothers and sisters in Africa.
So thank you very much. So I have 3 messages for people. One is that I know that, and you know that it's a big pain point, that there's a huge maternal death in Africa from pregnancy complications. We hear it, we know it, and we're going to do something about it. That's the first thing to say. Second, to your investors, and to say, by supporting this, you will be supporting lives. One test, one pill saves 2 lives. And the third is that, as my putting different hat on as the senior advisor to the president of the University of Southampton, we are keen to cooperate and collaborate with institutions in Africa, especially research-intensive ones, where we believe that we need to build bridges and partnerships. And for students there, I would encourage them to come to Southampton or partner with in any ways, because you want to be in an inclusive environment, and that's why I aligned myself with them, because it's about inclusivity. So I hope, and finally, just to say that this month is, as Dr. Yover said, is the Preeclampsia Awareness Month. We're doing webinar on 17th and 24th, and on the 24th of May we will do a global one, and one of the professors from Africa is joining us. And and in terms of Turkey, I already have a deep relationship with University of Istanbul, with the School of Pharmacy.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Professor Asif Ahmed. It was such an honor to have you on our show. Special report, because of your importance, we made it a special report for our viewers. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm really truly and excited to host an amazing gentleman, a true leader, a person who is actually saving millions of lives with his team. So stay tuned to NTR TV with special report. This is your host, Dr. Yavuz Selim Sulay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. Take care and all the best. Bye.